2 years ago, on Juneteenth 2021, KBLA Talk 1580 launched with a promise to give disenfranchised fellow citizens a voice in current political, economic, social, and cultural issues with an empowering, sustainable, and restorative language.
Everybody's gotta live the life under the sun, under the sun, under the sun.
As we enter our third year, we are delighted that KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerges as the talk station of choice for African American listeners. In a vigorous public opinion research study, the 2023 African American Media Issues Survey finds that for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 remains the most trusted, credible, and reliable media source in Southern California for African Americans and beyond. Furthermore, 80% of those surveyed agree that outlets like KBLA Talk 1580 provide honest and authentic content about the issues most important to the Black community directly from Black journalists who understand the issues that need to be addressed. At KBLA Talk 1580, we remain committed to curating conversations that matter to you. Thank you for your continued support. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. The station that sounds like the city looks. The city looks.
Blame it on the blues, got you feeling loose. Blame it on the drum, got you feeling gone. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the. She says she usually don't, but I know that she front.
Welcome to Hour 2. You are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Like I said, we're in Hour 2 VIPs, and we still have a lot of conversation to have. These trending topics and headlines, they don't stop. So let me get you ready for Hour 2. We're going to talk about Common and his breakup with Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany is saying it wasn't mutual, and she's telling you how it all went down, and I'm going to share that with you. We're also going to talk about Drake and Michael B. Jordan. They've gone into business together. We're going to get into what their new franchise business move is, a little power move. We're going to talk about the film They Cloned Tyrone, which stars Jamie Foxx, who you just heard on the intro here coming in. I'm going to give you a spoiler-free review of They Cloned Tyrone. It's a Netflix flick. We're going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about some of your favorite shows that are leaving Netflix this month. They are on their way out of there. And we're going to get into the power moves, the power that is Barbie. And we're going to talk about what they did this weekend, a little bit about that marketing budget, and a couple of other things. But first, I mentioned Tiffany Haddish. And so Tiffany was talking about her breakup with rapper Common recently, and she was discussing their 2021 breakup. So it's been about 2 years now. In an interview with the Washington Post, it was published last week, Haddish says her version of the events was vastly different. She said it was the demise of what she called the healthiest and funnest relationship she has ever had, but it wasn't a mutual breakup. She said Common broke up with her over the phone. And it was more of him saying, like, I think this relationship has run its course. And she said she was like, okay, like, you're going to be a 50-year-old single man? She first revealed that she and Common started dating in August of 2020 in an interview with Steve-O. It's his podcast that was called Wild Ride. She said, I'm in a relationship and, we're twins now. Common hadn't said anything at the time. So, Tiffany is another person who is very, very outspoken, says what's on her mind. No filter comes to mind. So she confessed that their friendship had gone from a virtual Bumble date to an intimate level, saying, and then he got tested for everything and I got tested for everything. And yeah, we are doing what people do. She used a more descriptive word, but I'm not. So here's the thing. According to Common, he says that he and Haddish were simply too busy to have a real relationship. I don't think the love really disappeared. I just think that we weren't feeding the relationship, and neither one of us was going to stop what we do as far as our crafts go. Of course, we know Common's now in a relationship with Jennifer Hudson. So, Common keeps it moving. Listen, I like to refer to Common, and I say this with love, Common. Common is a rite of passage for black actresses in Hollywood. We know he's been with Erykah Badu. He dated Taraji P. Henson. He dated Serena Williams for a minute. He dated choreographer Fatima and, Tiffany. And I know there's someone else I'm forgetting, but now he's with Jennifer. So, Tiffany, she seems to be kind of going through it. The last comment said about it was, we decided that this is what's going to be best for us. We still continue to love each other and be there for each other, but not in a romantic way, because we won't be able to give that. I don't want to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So Common has a 24-year-old daughter with his ex-girlfriend, Kim Jones. Andy?
So Common has been discussed on this network before, and I believe there was this term that somebody described him as, and I'm probably butchering the term, but it was like serial
monogamous.
Serial monogamous.
Yes, he absolutely is that. Yes, he is. I mean, that's a lot of Again, Common is someone who I believe seeks out a power couple situation, because, and this is no shade, no tea. I understand, right? You want to be with someone that relates to you, understands your schedule and your time. Apparently that doesn't always work out, because time seemed to be what he implied was the problem with he and Tiffany. I don't know. He got in a new relationship kind of fast. So was it really? I don't know.
I'm beginning to believe. And, back when he was called the serial, what would you call it?
Serial monogamous.
Serial monogamous. I kind of was like defending, his actions. And I guess I am defending his actions to a degree right now. But for the ladies, I think that it may sound like I'm hating on Common right now, but I think that if you're going to involve yourself with him on whatever level that may look like, I think that you women, generally speaking, that you guys need to kind of guard your heart in this situation, because I don't think that Common is really looking to settle down and do the long-term thing. I think what he does is, let's be in a relationship so it doesn't seem as if, like,
we're shaking and moving.
You know what I mean?
We're just shacking up like the old folks used to say.
So that, they can do all the good things.
All the relationship things. You feel all the comfort and security of that.
Absolutely.
But it's only going to here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is interesting. Like I said, a rite of passage for Hollywood, date Common.
But to your point, what we discussed the last hour, him getting into these relationships, has these relationships boosted Common's career in any shape or form? I
mean, well, I don't know. I forgot. Did he also, I could be wrong about this, so I'm not going to put that one out there because I could be wrong about her. But here's the thing. I think that it definitely has kept him somewhat relevant because, Common acts. We've seen him in projects. He was in Silo, I think, recently, which is an Apple TV Plus series. We know that he did a movie with Keke Palmer a few years ago. Alice, I think, was the name of it, where he played a trucker in the 1970s, and Keke was a woman that was living on a plantation and thought she was enslaved and was running away to freedom, only to find out that it was current times and they had kept the idea of slavery from them. Yeah, you can probably check that out someplace. But here's the thing. When's the last time Common's had some music?
Exactly.
When's the last time Common has been the lead in a film? We know he did Just Right with Latifah. Felt he was terribly wrong for that role as the ball player. Terribly wrong for that. Nothing about Common said ball player swag. And I like the movie.
Really?
Nothing about Common. The way
he
that
plays ball for real, though.
He may hoop, but that doesn't mean he plays ball. He might hoop, But there is nothing the way, you know how Jay-Z said, check out my swag, I walk like a ball player?
Yeah.
Common does not. Nothing about that. I was like, nothing about him is giving me ball
What
player.
swag does he have?
Well, I mean, really, like, okay. I liked him when he was Common Sense back in the day. I
Okay.
used to love her. What's the song he and Erykah Badu hit? Love of My Life.
Okay.
That was a jam. I mean, there are Common songs that I like. You know, I don't know if I'm a consumer of his music like that, but there are definitely songs I like. I wouldn't, if someone was like, hey, you want to go to a Common concert with me? I'd be like, sure, if they invited me. So, and it's not like that. I'm just saying, you know, I'm not like, let's go check out that Common. I've never heard anything about his live performance that has made me feel like I want to go check it out. So that's not any shade. I'm just saying, you know.
I know what Common swag is.
What is it?
It's the Goodwill thrift store.
See,
Bare feet, Egyptian musk.
He's not
incense.
in that anymore. No, that was just with Erykah. He adopted that in the crochet pants and the Applejack hats when he was with Erykah. He has moved beyond that. He's not in that anymore. You know, Erykah has that effect. I don't know what she does. Her incense, whatever.
I still think that's him.
Shout it, no, because we don't see it. Where is it? Where is it? We ain't seen that.
His music, and I know he hasn't dropped any recent music, but I just think his music gives you that vibe. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, maybe. I think it gave us that vibe when he was with Erykah, and that's the vibe she was giving him. I could be wrong about that, but those are just my thoughts about that. But shout out to Common and Tiffany. Tiffany also recently shared that she has had her 8th miscarriage. So support and prayers out to Tiffany. I don't know. She's also opening up a grocery store. At least those are her plans to in South Central. So Tiffany has a lot going on right now. She's all over the place, but she seems to be, you know, she has a new boo, I recall her saying, but she still seems to be having some, you know, lingering feelings, thoughts, what have you, with this one. So, fair enough. Shout out to Common and Jennifer. Go ahead. Two Chicagoans. So, I mentioned Drake and Michael B. Jordan. They have come together to invest in a new business. And that business is a pickleball franchise. Now, I know we've been hearing a lot about pickleball over these past couple of months. We know Jamie Foxx was playing it in Chicago when he was rehabbing from whatever was going on with him. Shout out to Jamie Foxx. We're going to be talking about They Cloned Tyrone in a little bit. And also, it's been gaining popularity over the past 2 years. Pickleball is like a combination of like racquetball or ping pong ball and tennis on a smaller court. Anyway, people are enjoying it. It doesn't, I guess, put as much effort on the knees because the court is smaller. It's exercise and it's gaining momentum. So Drake and Michael B. Jordan invested in the Brooklyn Aces, and they are part of the Major League Pickleball organization. Other investors in that particular franchise include Kevin Durant's business partner, Rich Klein, and Steve Stout. KD is also invested in a pickleball franchise, might be that one as well. And there's other people that have some stake in the pickleball game. LeBron James, Tom Brady. The MLP started in 2021. The sport has been gaining traction since COVID-19, so about 3 years now, and the league has touted itself as the standard bearer for the fastest growing sport in the United States. There are 12 teams at its premier level and an additional 12 at the challenger level. So go get your pickleball on. Maybe, you know, this is your second calling. You can become a professional, because I don't know what the age limit is. I don't know what the requirements are for it. I just know it's here and it's spreading. So shout out to that. All right. So if you are a fan of Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, and Tiana Paris, we are going to get into their Netflix film, They Cloned Tyrone, when we come forward. We're also going to get into your comments, and we're going to talk about what films and TV shows are leaving Netflix in the coming weeks ahead. All that and more, you're checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, in downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? You might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe. You are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe live on KBLA Talk 1580. And we are keeping the party going with all of these trending topics and headlines dotting all around here. So I mentioned they cloned Tyrone. It's on Netflix. It's a sci-fi flick with a Black cast. The co-writer and director, Jewel Taylor, is also a Black man. And I implore you guys to check it out. So first, shout out to Jamie Foxx. He posted a video, I think it was late Friday night, saying that, you know, he knows it's been a while since fans have seen him. He wanted to let everyone know that he was okay, that it was a difficult time. He didn't want fans to see him in that state. That is why he didn't share footage sooner. So we are happy to see Jamie back in the mix. He's obviously lost a bit of weight, dealing with his image. People are still debating on if he's a clone or not. He says he's not. We're going to take his word for it. But if you check out They Cloned Tyrone, the idea of clones might not seem so far-fetched to you after you watch this, okay? So basically what this film centers on is there's a guy named Fontaine. Fontaine lives in the hood. He keeps order. He's a street pharmacist. So he is making sure that he keeps his business in check. He's a little down and out and hardened by his circumstances growing up in the life. Jamie Foxx plays Slick Charles, what should we call Slick Charles? A purveyor, a seller, a negotiator of women and good times. That's what Slick Charles is. And Yo-Yo is one of Slick Charles's friends that he helps out from time to time. So the three of them hook up and some weird things start happening. Fontaine goes out to handle some business, and when he wakes up the next day, things don't really feel the same. So what I will say to you is this. If you like science fiction movies, if you like conspiracy theories, even a little bit, you will greatly enjoy this. The setup is somebody, and if it is somebody, who is it, controlling what happens in the neighborhood. That's the premise, right? You're going to go through a couple of different emotions watching this. I'm trying not to give too much away. Your guy Jay Alphonse from P-Valley, he's in it. He plays a rival street pharmacist to Fontaine, John Boyega's character. Andy, you look like you have something you want to add.
Nah, I'm a conspiracy guy. So I'm just curious to know, with you watching this film, if you could tie it to reality in real life, in what ways could you tie this to reality without giving too much details?
So, okay, here's one thing. We all know, and black people are naturally skeptics. We know what happened with the Tuskegee experiment, right? We know about that. We know what happened with Henrietta Lacks and her cells that were taken. And then we know about other different things, how the CIA with COINTELPRO, I think that's the name of it, infiltrated the Black Panthers. So it's not that we develop these things out of nowhere. The film centers on a conversation that a lot of current conspiracy theorists have regarding the images that we see and why we see them, regarding the role of the church in our lives, the music that we listen to, and the food that we eat.
Okay.
It gets into all of that. So it wraps it up together. You got to watch it. You got to check it out. Jamie is funny as always. John Boyega and Tiana Paris give great performances. Keep in mind, John is playing several roles in this. He's not just playing one. So, and also for you OGs out there, Kiefer Sutherland, if you're a 24 fan, he is also in this film. So hit up Netflix, make sure you support, right? I know that there is a lot out there that you can choose from as far as your entertainment options. But I think this is a worthwhile cause. We also always want to support Jamie, right? Right. And I think it's pretty interesting. Check it out. Then hit me up on Stiletto Jill. Hit us up on the app. You can download the app and take us with you. You know, we always talk about that. You can leave me a message there about your thoughts about They Cloned Tyrone. I'm really curious to see what the response will be. So that's my recommendation. You will not waste your time. If we're talking about popcorn buckets, say 4 out of 5 popcorn buckets. I'm entertained. And the soundtrack is really good. So, yeah.
See, now I'm really concerned because, considering the subject matter of this and what happened to Jamie Foxx, I'm just saying.
You just saying. That's why you need to watch it.
Maybe he might have put too much information in that joint.
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, there's because Jamie's in it. He's funny. There's a bit of comedy to it, but it is a sci-fi film. So go check it out. And please, once you do, make sure you hit us up here and say RSVP sent me, because they put us on to the bigger things. All right. So we have a caller, which I love, Mimi from Jacksonville, Florida, checking in. Mimi, what's going on tonight? How are you? Welcome to RSVP.
Hey, Jill. Hey, everyone. I want to say I'm glad that Jamie Foxx is, getting better on the mend, and so that's a good thing. And he does look different, but, if it's true what they say, if you had a stroke or, something serious, of course you are going to look different. So I don't think he's been cloned. But I do have a question about the movie or the show. I haven't seen it yet, but it's been described to me as sort of a science fiction clone / 1970s you know, he's a pimp, somebody's a prostitute, and a drug dealer kind of vibe.
It is exactly that. And what I will say is I know that may, and sorry for interrupting you, I'll let you finish, that may turn some people off, but dig into it and rest into that because it plays a very important role, their particular jobs in the movie.
Yeah. I just thought, well, it's 2023 and black content and everything, and it was like, I didn't get it at first until I saw the trailers, and I was like, oh, she's a sex worker. Oh, he's a pimp. That's why they're like 1970s outfits in the 2023. Okay, I didn't get that, but now I get it.
So, yeah, there's a little flair to their characters. It's not a film that is supposed to take place in the past, though. I will say that. It is a current film. It is right now. And the director, this is his first feature film directing. He also was a co-writer of Creed 2. So, you know, you've seen some of his work out there. It's a very original concept in a lot of ways. And again, there's some twists and turns in there. It's not going exactly the way that you think it is, but I think it's enjoyable. And I would love to hear whenever you check it out, Mimi, because you always have great commentary. We want to hear what you thought.
I'm going to check it out. I'm just like, I'm trying to get the lowest price Netflix package that I can get because I'm almost apped out.
Listen, I completely understand. Netflix has raised their prices. They got 6 million subscribers since they shut down on password sharing. So I don't think that their prices will be going down anytime soon. But they are supposed to be having a tier that has commercials. So I don't know what that's running for. But if you can check it out, support. It's a great film, and I would love to hear your commentary. Thank you for checking in, Mimi. We always love to hear from you.
Thank you.
So I see Tony Yayo in the chat. He's asking about another, I think, is this Netflix? I think this is Netflix too, Survival of the Thickest. Yes, it's pretty entertaining. Check it out. Michelle Buteau, I believe that is how you say her last name. She plays Mavis. That is the lead role. Tone Bell is also featured in it. Tasha Smith. And that's all I can remember from the cast from that. But it is worth your time checking it out. And that is a series. So there are a few episodes. You can take your time with it. Anyway, shout out to Jamie Foxx. Shout out to John Boyega. Shout out to Tiana Paris. When we come forward, we're going to let you know what shows you have to say goodbye to, unfortunately, on Netflix, and maybe try and seek out elsewhere. We're also going to get into Barbie and the marketing phenomenon that it was, and we're going to talk about A$AP Rocky and who it's said possibly, allegedly, maybe he was dissing when he was on stage at Rolling Loud in Miami this past weekend. You were listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe right here live on KBLA Talk 1580.
Alcohol, blame it on the see, she spilled some drink on me, and now I'm known she tipsy. She put her body on me, and she keeps staring me right in my eyes. No telling what I'm gonna do.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Actors are planning for a major rally in the epicenter of New York City tomorrow. Those on strike will take to Times Square for a rally dubbed Rock the City for a Fair Contract. Actors have been on strike since July 14th, joining writers who have been on the picket line since May. Georgia officials are warning the public over a financial scam called pig butchering. The criminals target cryptocurrency investors. The name comes from the fact that the con artists fatten up the victims by feeding them a steady stream of exaggerated information. In Detroit, Michigan, an air quality alert is in place for Tuesday as wildfire smoke from Canada is expected to drift over the southeastern portion of Michigan again. Officials recommend seniors and children stay inside if possible to avoid unhealthy air.
And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent, local agent, local agent.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com.
2 years ago, on Juneteenth 2021, KBLA Talk 1580 launched with a promise to give disenfranchised fellow citizens a voice in current political, economic, social, and cultural issues with an empowering, sustainable, and restorative language.
Everybody's got a little light under the sun, under the sun, under the sun, under the sun.
As we enter our 3rd year, we are delighted that KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerges as the talk station of choice for African American listeners. In a vigorous public opinion research study, the 2023 African American Media Issue Survey finds that for the 2nd consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 remains the most trusted, credible, and reliable media source in Southern California for African Americans and beyond. Furthermore, 80% of those surveyed agree that outlets like KBLA Talk 1580 provide honest and authentic content about the issues most important to the Black community directly from Black journalists who understand the issues that need to be addressed. At KBLA Talk 1580, we remain committed to curating conversations that matter to you. Thank you for your continued support. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. The station that sounds like the city looks.
What's up, LA? The Reparationist community got something real special going down in historic Leimert Park. August 12th, 2023. This event is sponsored by Reparations United and Black Pact, fighting for justice and empowering our community. Together, we can make moves. We have an insane lineup for y'all. The sultry Rotimi, the king of LA, The Game, smooth Eric Benet, and none other than the powerful sounds of Blackness. Also, we have some special guests in the house. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, State Senator Stephen Bradford, LA's beloved Councilwoman Heather Hutt, and many more. They're bringing their passion and leadership to the stage. Mark your calendars, August 12th, 2023, Leimert Park. Let's come together, support each other, and make a difference. Peace, love, and reparations benefit concert and unity rally. Be there or be left out. Produced by Tara Perry of Black Pact and Cam Howard of Reparations United.
KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dominique DePrima from the show First Things First, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. Join us Tuesday with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. It's Mornings with the Mayor every month, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Baby, don't go. No, baby, no, baby, no, baby. No. Hey, boy. No, baby, no, baby, no, baby. Even though I hate to.
I wonder if this is what Tiffany Haddish was singing in comment. You know, but Tiffany's bounced back, and Common has too. That's just a side. Anyway, we're saying goodbye to some of our favorite shows on Netflix. I see you, Andy. I was there. I was locked in. Just had to take it back for a second because, you know, 88, when Guy dropped this, Heartbreak. I don't know if I had real heartbreak in my life at this moment, but I probably thought I did. You know, you thought you knew all about it listening to the grown folks' music and whatever. What did you really know? I mean, whatever it was, it hurt my little child heart, though. Anyway, so next month, it's going to be time to say goodbye to some of our favorite shows on Netflix, and they might be available someplace else. They might not be. You just got to keep checking in and see. So, as of August 1st, all episodes of Moesha gone from Netflix. So your last day to watch, July 31st. The Game. That is one of my favorite shows. Seasons 1 through 3, which personally, those were the best ones. I don't really count those BET years. The ones that were on Paramount Plus recently before it got canceled, they were okay. But The Game has been through a lot of iterations. Well, anyway, 1 through 3. Those are done on Netflix, August 14th. That's the last date that you can watch those. Seasons 1 through 6 of Sister Sister. The last day to watch those is August 31st. Girlfriends. We all love Girlfriends. Seasons 1 through 8 will be removed September 11th. So September 10th, that's your last day to check in. The Parkers, seasons 1 through 5. October 1st, so you still got some time with that. I'll remind you again. But you can ride that out through September 7th, September 30th to be exact. Half and Half. Used to love that show too with Essence Atkins and what is my girl's name? She was in The Craft. Oh gosh, I blanked on Mona. No, that was her character's name. Well, Valerie J. Perrine was on there and some others. I'm going to think of her name because I can't believe that I just forgot it. So that's leaving. Your last day to watch that is October 14th and 101. Notice most of these are UPN and CW shows. 101, that was the series with Kyla Pratt and Flex Alexander. The last day to watch that, October 14th. So mark your Netflix calendars. Get all your viewing in if you were trying to catch up because those will be saying goodbye. Bye-bye, baby. Shout out to Aaron Hall. I don't know how closely I got to that, but it was an attempt, right? I tried. I put the effort in. So we're going to talk about power moves. I don't know if you were one of the Rachel True. Shout out to Thomas Outlaw and Pretty Brown Mimi. Rachel True is the actress's name that played Mona on Half and Half. She also was in The Craft. We love her. Follow her on social media. She's a great follow. Always positive and still looks great. So anyway, talking about Barbie. Barbie came out over the weekend, and if you are like me, Anywhere you looked, there was something pink, neon, and having to deal with Barbie. It was literally everywhere. And it worked. Barbie is the biggest debut of the year, the biggest opening since COVID began 3 years ago. And they smashed expectations and landed $155 million just in the United States. Oppenheimer, which is a historical drama having to do with the creation of the atom bomb, that opened to $80.5 million. Those two together, fourth biggest box office opening weekend of all time. All time. And what they say is a lot of people refuse to choose just one, so they did a double feature where they went to one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Probably haven't heard about people doing that in many, many times. It's also worth noting that the top 3 weekends for debuts, they were all sequels of massive franchises. So we're talking Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. So these being two, well, Barbie, I'm sure it's going to be a franchise. You know, being involved in all of that, it's a good thing. There was some controversy, though. So, wait, before we get into the controversy that we talked about, we have to talk about, 182 million globally. So, 337 million total for the weekend for Barbie. So, let's get back to this marketing budget thing. So, the marketing budget alone, I'm not sure how much it costs to make the film. The marketing budget alone was $145 million. But Warner Brothers didn't do this by themselves. Mattel also went in on them. Just to kind of have an idea about Mattel, Mattel's marketing budget for the year is about $400 million. So whatever they spent, I'm going to just say they spent half of that. It's not even a drop in the bucket of what they do for all of their toys, Barbie included, every year. So here's the thing. Mattel, as well as Warner Brothers, those, if you looked around, collaborations seemed to keep coming. Seemed like as soon as you saw one stop, there was another one. And you know why that is? They said that once they got going, because this campaign has been going for quite a while, brands started to come to them because they wanted to be involved with the pink. They started offering ways that they could collaborate and put things together. So even that 145 million, is not the true value of what the marketing budget for Barbie really was. So what does that say? We need to go old school, and the only way you can get a hit is, you know, the old saying, you got to spend money to make money. So we need $100 million marketing budgets for these films. Or is it just that Barbie is an icon and it was destined to do that? The interesting thing is that there's a writer that was on Twitter, a female white writer, and she talked about how it was so important for the culture that Barbie, a movie that was specifically made and marketed towards women, did this feat. She said it never happened before. Oh, the arrogance. You know, she was white, so completely ignoring films like Girls Trip, Woman King, and a couple of others that have done the same thing, maybe not to the degree and the dollar amount, but were definitely marketed for women and were considered blockbusters. When someone brought up some of these other films, her response was, "Don't talk to me about what happens. I wrote on a Black Lives Matter script." That really happened. It's on Twitter somewhere. You can check it out. Just, you know, search the hashtag to figure that out. So I want to know, did you take in Barbie this weekend or Oppenheimer? What did you think? Pretty Brown Mimi says, I can't believe Barbie made $155 million. I'm shocked. All that pink. She also wants to know why Netflix is dropping all the black shows. Well, what I think happened is, what happens with these deals is that they're licensing deals. So they only license the shows for a limited amount of time to air on the network. It's possible that these shows can pop up on another streaming service, but we'll have to see. But the time frame was short, and we know Netflix, at least as of a couple months ago, was trying to save costs. Ben Frank added that Hidden Figures is another film that we can talk about that was made for not black women specifically, marketed and made for women that did extremely well in the box office. So, shout out to all of those films. Shout out to women for holding it down. We appreciate Barbie simply because, well, I appreciate Barbie because I really liked Barbie growing up. But for the Barbie film, I like Margot Robbie, and obviously Issa Rae was President Barbie. Duh. That alone is enough to get you motivated and hyped for it. So appreciate that fact. Ben Frank also says They Cloned Tyrone was a great movie. So glad you guys are enjoying it and checking it out. Tony Yayo added that LL Cool J had a UPN show too. He did. It was called In the House. It was him, Maya Campbell, Alfonso Ribeiro. Debbie Allen was on the original version of it when it first launched. And Kim Wayans, one of the Wayans family, was also in that show. So that was a great show. Loved it. Checked it out. Indeed. So that's what's up with Barbie and those moves. When we come forward, we're going to get into Ice Cube and his thoughts about what has been labeled as the top diss rap of all time. We're celebrating the 50 years of hip hop. Ice Cube didn't agree with the list. He has a problem with it. And what I'm going to say to you is I have a problem with Ice Cube having a problem with it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into all of that and more. You are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Hey, you are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580. Remember, you can hit us up on our socials. I'm at Stiletto Jill. KBLA 1580 everywhere. Do that. You can hop in our YouTube chat. The chat is always lit. Lots of commentary going on there, as well as download the app. So you have lots of ways to get in contact, VIPs. Don't forget, coming up in the next hour, it's where we get into the after hours. We lift the velvet rope and things are going to get a little deeper. We're going to talk about what one plastic surgeon says is happening as a result of the Screen Actors Guild strike. We're also going to talk a little bit about, some activities that people have been partaking in that maybe aren't quite right. Now, I'm going extra with it. We're going to talk about the Florida A&M football team and why all football-related activities have been suspended there. We're also going to talk a little bit about DJ Mustard and the significant win that he scored in his ongoing divorce battle. We're going to get into all of that. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about Ice Cube. Ice Cube has been keeping the headlines hot over the past few weeks. Right now the Big Three is out playing. He's been on tour with them. But recently in an interview, there was a conversation about the best hip-hop diss track of all time. So these are the top three. No Vaseline, Ice Cube's diss to NWA. I think that came out in 90, 91, something like that. It was number 3. Number 2, Ether by Nas. We all know that came out in the early 2000s. It was a diss to Jay-Z. Jay had some things to say about Nas's daughter's mother because he was having a situation. We all know the details about that, or at least a little bit of them. But the number 1 diss track, Tupac, Hit 'Em Up. Well, Cube disagrees. Let's check out what Cube had to say about these diss tracks and why he feels like the order is all out of line.
You bigged up 50 years of hip hop. I read this lineup the other day with the best diss records. You were like number 3. I think Hit 'Em Up
3.
Yeah, I was like, what? No Vaseline.
Number 3.
No Vaseline was number 3. Even though it was a random.
Who's number 1, man?
Tupac, Hit 'Em Up.
Come on, man.
And
how's Tupac number 1 when he needed help on that record? Me, No Vaseline, One MC.
You want to hear who's number 2? I took
out who?
Ether, Nas.
Nah, man. I love Nas, but it's not. One me. Took out 4 and the manager.
Wow.
I mean, damn. You got to give me credit for that. Group was over. I don't know if they made another record after that.
Now listen, No Vaseline was a classic diss track. Cube came out with that. Everybody's mouth dropped. They weren't ready for it. However, and I say this very strongly, I'm not even going to get into Ether. I feel like that's a good spot for it too. But Hit 'Em Up, Cube is tripping hard. Listen, he talks about how Pac needed other people on the track. He really didn't. Because Cube, if you remember correctly, and I don't think that you do, I don't think that you really, really, really are thinking about Hit 'Em Up. The first verse, that's all Pac needed. He didn't have to say anything else. Listen, the opening bars, before the music even really gets going well, before the track even gets started, are, that's why I banged your wife, you fat bleep, bleep, bleep. Come on, man. You start a track like that and you think there is any question, not your girl, not your significant other, your wife. And she was his wife at the time. Okay? I mean, Cube, come on. What you said was cute. It's a little ying around the house. But let's be for real. And then, if you want to get into the later information that Pac was spilling in those verses, he said that Biggie slept on his couch. Now you rocking Versace, but you got it from me. said, I took 5 shots and smiled. Who shot you? But, I mean, I could go on and on and on. Like, I don't see how there's a question. You couldn't even hear that track on radio. Like, that was a hard to find track. Mouths dropped open. Even if you listen to that track now in this day, the venom in Tupac's voice when he spits that song, come on, it's undeniable. Andy, what do you think?
I'm with you 100%. I remember somebody posted something on Twitter about what was the best diss record, and I do remember No Vaseline trending. A lot of people did argue that it was number one, and the main argument is what Ice Cube said, was that he felt like it was one against, 4 or 5 people. So,
I mean, I feel that, but listen, Tupac came at Biggie, he came at Puff, he came at Junior Mafia,
Mobb Deep.
He came at Mobb Deep, he came at Little Kim, all on this one song.
Yep. The whole East
all Coast. On this one song. Basically, everybody that was dominating East Coast rap at the time, Pac said, I got something for you. I got something for you. I got a line for you. And he did it efficiently. And I love No Vaseline. Like, again, I'm not trying to take anything away from it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, Cube, you're wrong. You're wrong. Brother Alfonso says, sorry, Cube is right. No Vaseline is number one. Brother Alfonso, you're going to have to say more than that. You can't just say it and not back up your reasoning, because I just gave a litany of reasons why I don't agree.
If No Vaseline is number one, I'll tell you a record that can probably rival that record.
Who? What?
Common, The B and You.
Okay. But I don't think that belongs in the top 3 at all. It's a good one. It definitely factor. But those 3, I feel like those were culture shifting in a way.
Overrated.
Okay, a little bit. But I think it was the idea, 1, that Nas was coming at Jay. 2, that because at that time period, a lot of the disses were more sneak disses. They were under, and I feel like there wasn't really a question who Nas was talking to when he dropped Ether, and I think that was different for the time, so I give it that. But there's no way I will stand on that hill. It's not just because I love Pac. I love Cube too. You know, been a Cube, day one Cube fan, rocked America's Most Wanted, rocked a Lethal Injection, rocked a Predator, but no way in heck that No Vaseline takes down Hit 'Em Up. It was just too crazy. It was just too outlandish. And the video. I mean, come on.
How about some honorable mentions?
Okay, go for it.
Eazy-E, real
G's. Yep, that was a good one.
Cannabis, second round knockout.
Okay, he did kind of take LL down with that.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened to Cannabis after that? He just disappeared too. Just never came back.
You know, he had a bad team. You know what I'm saying? His production wasn't the best. But I'm going to go with DJ Quick, Dollars and Cents.
Left out the G because the
that
G ain't
just
in
that
you.
line alone.
Right.
That should go like in the Hall of Fame somewhere.
Right. He really did knock MC8 out with that. Where is MC8 nowadays?
Exactly.
You know, listen, I'm just saying. Cube, I rock with you, but you're wrong, player. You're wrong. When we come forward, hour 3, we're going to get into more topics. We're going to talk about what's going on with A$AP Rocky and who he was subliminally dissing, allegedly. We're going to get into what is happening, this plastic surgeon says, as a result of the SAG-AFTRA strike. We're also going to talk about FAMU and why all football activities have been suspended from the school. We're going to give you the scoop on DJ Mustard and what's going on with his divorce case. Men, you'll like that. All that and more. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580 RSVP with Jill Munroe.
But fairy tales don't always come true. You promised to stay with me. I promised to stay with you.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black